Morning YouTube, this is a response to Pyrrho314. I'm sorry the image on this camera is a bit weird. I'm not trying to be artistic, it's just got a bit funny for some reason. It's a new camera, yeah. Anyway, yeah, just a couple of things here, Pyrrho. I think we're talking about slightly different things. That's the essential problem. Or maybe we're not, I don't know. But I'm quite glad the opportunity to revisit these ideas because I'm having trouble with them myself. It's to do with, and it's not so much to do with the free will problem. It's to do with I think the problem is about epistemology. I think it's an understanding problem. It's about the stuff you've talked about before, about the embodied mind. I don't think free will is an illusion, or I don't think the word illusion really captures what it is. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what the word would be. I suppose that's the thing I'm dealing with here, really. And I also don't think that whatever word you substitute or whatever set of concepts you substitute for free will ever kind of banishes or throws into relief the need to make ethical choices. You know what I mean? Because I understand what you're saying. There's a real paradox there about arguing for the absence of free will whilst at the same time arguing for the demands of human improvement, or the improvement of the human condition. It's one that I chew the fat over quite a bit. So yeah, I think that's valid. Excuse me a minute, I'm just going to look at my notes here. Yeah, I suppose what I was saying there really, I guess I kind of got bogged down in Newtonian as a phrase, and that became a bit unfortunate perhaps, I don't know. But where my question is to do with this embodied mind thing. Because I think one of the things you say is it's not fine that there is no phenomena of will. I think there is a phenomena of will. I think it is a phenomenological entity, will. We clearly we experience it all the time. Well, actually, I don't think we experience it all the time. I think we experience it when we're thinking about it, and we see other agents apparently displaying it, and our shops and our political systems and and our legal systems are all set up to support that phenomena. But it's my question is what its status is and where it comes from. And what I tried to hint at in a video I made recently about Newtonianism, Newtonian physics and free will, what I'm trying to hint at there is it comes out of the fact that our minds are embodied, and because our minds are embodied within frames which operate at a scale which is best explained, or most easily explained, by a system of physics which approximates Newtonianism. It isn't strictly speaking Newtonian, it's more like what's sometimes called folk physics, which I'm sure you'll know about, but broadly speaking Newtonian. Then our brains are constrained, I would think. Not our brains, no, let me just rephrase that. Our minds, the things that our brains do, are constrained to operate at that scale. In the same way that my car is it's a complex system of electrochemical and mechanical and pneumatic and all those kinds of systems. But what it does is it moves along the road at a certain speed and turns corners. It operates in a certain its range of motion is not reflective of the machinery that produces that motion. Does that make any sense at all? Yeah, and the same way that a kind of brain-mind thing, a brain undoubtedly is largely electrochemical, undoubtedly will have something quantum going on in it, since there's quantum stuff going on everywhere. But the processes that it reproduces, the world that it simulates in the form of mind, and the world that it produces in terms of perceptions, doesn't reflect, I don't think, at least on a conscious level, all of the physics that it instantiates itself. It seems to instantiate, it seems to produce a world which is Newtonian, largely, and allow us to think in terms of medium-sized objects moving at medium speed. That's all I'm saying. And within that frame, I think that's where the problem arises for me. Because we know, as you say yourself, that Newtonian machines, broadly speaking, don't have any indeterminacy in them. You know, you cite things like balls rolling down hills, and I've mentioned snooker balls and this stuff. There's no indeterminacy at those scales. There is at much smaller scales, but not at those scales. So here we are with these embodied minds, thinking in these terms, expecting indeterminacy, but not experiencing indeterminacy, or at least not experiencing indeterminacy in ourselves, not experiencing indeterminacy in other agents. And that's, in a sense, the problem I think we're all talking about. It's a bit weird, and I think I think the weirdness emerges, as I say, from this kind of weird mismatch of physics. Here's our minds trying to apply Newtonian principles to non-Newtonian, or to physical systems which are best explained in more in other ways. And I don't know what those ways would be. I do know that mentioning quantum mechanics in relation to consciousness and brain function is waving a red rag to a bull. So I'm not going to go there, and I don't think you need to go there really. Yeah, let me just have a quick look. I don't feel I've been very articulate. It's really early in the morning. I'm so tired. Okay, what you say is it's something like that. Physics tells you that you should conclude that determinism rules, kind of. No, I don't think it does really. Yeah, I don't think it does. I think the problem that I'm trying to address is the problem we're all trying to address, is not to wish free will away, but to explain its experience as a phenomena within human consciousness. And my hypothesis, if I was going to make a hypothesis about this, would be that the phenomena of free will emerges, as I tried to explain the last one, emerges out of trying to process information about a complex set of physical happenings in something we might call the world, trying to process all this physical data using a computer which is running basically a Newtonian program. And that's going to throw up artifacts, and one of those artifacts we might call free will, or we might call motivation, or we might call desire. It isn't to say it's deterministic, nor is it to say that it's free. Both those terms, I would say, emerge out of the strange moire pattern that's being created by the overlap of those two, those diffraction gratings, whatever. I hope that makes some kind of sense, Pyrrho.